If you're running forced induction or even nitrous on your modified 2011 through 2017 Mustang GT and are looking for a colder plug to help prevent detonation, well then you might want to consider the Ford Performance plugs that we're talking about here today. Now, the plugs will be sold in sets of 8. They do come pre-gapped at 35 thousandths and can be had all for right around 100 bucks. So right off the bat, guys, I do want to say running a colder plug such as this should come at the discretion of either your install instructions from your supercharger kit or at the discretion of your tuner, and really aren't recommended for stock setups as there's really no need. Now instead, these are going to be for Coyote owners who have added boost either in the form of superchargers or turbos, or even a nitrous setup and need to move into a colder plug to help prevent pre-ignition, otherwise known as detonation, which can occur under high cylinder pressures of a modified setup. Now, the Ford Performance options that we are talking about here today are the same exact plugs found in the dedicated drag car, the Cobra Jet, and will be one heat range colder compared to the factory plugs on your Coyote Mustang. Now, they are going to feature a copper core along with the iridium tip, which will help deliver a consistent spark. Now, they do come pre-gapped at 35 thousandths according to Ford Performance, but never a bad idea to double check before you load them into your 5-liter power plant. Also, guys, you can close that gap if needed at the discretion of your tuner, of course, to possibly help prevent any spark blowout that could happen on cars running higher boost numbers. Shifting gears, let's get into the install. Honestly, guys, spark plugs are one of the wrenching basics, I would say, and on the Coyote, they are very straightforward. Site's still gonna call this one a pretty soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, maybe a couple of hours to complete from start to finish. But now to give you a better idea of just how the job will go down, check out this detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown from an AM customer.
So for today's install, we're going to be using a 3/8 socket wrench, a 3/8 extender tool, a 1/4 socket wrench, a 1/4 extension tool, a 3/8 angle piece for the socket, a 5/16 socket, a 10 millimeter, a 15 millimeter, a 5/8 spark plug removal tool. I would highly recommend using this over just the normal 5/8 socket, but if you do not have a spark plug removal tool, it is possible to use the 5/8 socket.
So the first step is when we're working with any sort of spark or any sort of electricity, coils especially, I like to take the little battery cover off and do the simple battery removal. We're going to take a 10 mil and just undo the battery. Simple as taking that off, and for safety I'm going to put this battery cover back on just so it doesn't reconnect, and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so next step, we're going to take our 15 millimeter socket and we're going to be removing the strut tower, strut bar, whatever you want to call it, right here. And we're going to start with 15 and just unbolt it. There should be 4 bolts in total. Use a little bit of force. It should just come right off. Now, not every Mustang will have one of these, but these are for those that do. Mine does have one. Alright, we'll take that and move it to our other pile, and we'll go to the next side over here. Because on mine only has 1 bolt on that side, there is 2 on this side. Same sort of thing. Unbolting this, real simple. And last one. After a little bit of force, it should just come right off. Perfect. Alright, got it. Alright, so we're just going to put these right there for now and remove the strut bar carefully, and we'll set it aside. Alright, so our next step is just going to be removing these powered by Ford little plastic covers here to gain access to the spark coil packs. And it's real simple, you just kind of snap them off and just grab wherever you can. And then you'll be able to see spark coil packs, and then just going to do the same thing on the other side right over here. And then simply undo that. Next real challenge is just to try to get these out of of the way of the fuel rails and fuel lines and stuff like that, but once you move it out of the way, real simple. You now have access to all your spark coils, and then we'll get to the removal of those. So now that we've removed the covers right here for the spark coil packs, we're just going to start unscrewing these. We're going to take our 5/16 right here and just start unbolting them. So it's real simple. Just, 4 nuts, or 4 bolts for each side of the engine, because it's a V8. Real simple, just simply unbolting that. Just unscrew until you can remove the screw. Just like that. Put it aside. And we'll do the same for all 8 of the spark coil packs. Now, if you have a simple impact or just regular drill that you have an attachment for the 5/16 and make it a lot quicker, but a simple socket set will do the trick. And just use your fingers to fully undo it. Just make sure you don't lose these down there by the headers. Perfect. Second one done. Socket again. And for this one, I'm going to remove the extender tool just because the bar right here is in the way. And again, once we loosen that, we'll just put the socket back over here and just continue to do it with our fingers. Okay, I changed my mind. It's not loose enough, felt loose enough. Alright, so now we have all 4 of our screws right here removed. So we have access to remove the spark coils. So what we're going to be doing is, if you want to get a little bit closer right over here, these little white clips, we're just going to move them back a little bit so now they're not in like that. And then you simply just press down and it'll release. You just got to pinch that right there. And you just pull all of these out. And we're going to do the same thing for all 4 of those. I'm going to go put these aside. Unclip all of them. Alright. Just kind of, after a little bit, they do this unsuction and sort of come right out. That further back one is a little bit harder to reach just because there's stuff in the way, but it is maneuverable. So now we've got all of this 4 side down. So now, if you do look inside, right over here, you can see we've accessed our spark coils right there, our spark plugs right there. And we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Get access to all of them before we start running them. Get our socket again. All these bolts right here. Alright, 1 bolt removed. Bolt number 2.
Now, ideally, you'd want to be doing this with your engine cooled down for several hours, just so that way you're not risking any burns. I've tried to let my engine cool down for at least a few hours. It's worked a little bit, because otherwise this will be a very hot surface, and your spark coils and your spark plugs will be very, very, very hot. You probably want to use gloves to remove those. But again, just gonna be unclipping these just like we did on the other side. And just sort of pinch and remove. And just take them all out. And these are quite warm. Perfect. So we're going to be using our 3/8 socket with the extender and the 5/8 socket removal tool and the little bendy attachment, just so we can reach all the way down there. Now the ones closest to the actual cabin are going to be the hardest, just because the bar's down there. They're so difficult to remove. Alright, so once you've gone down there, you feel your spark plug tool removal kind of start untwisting it. And the reason we like to use the spark plug removal tool over the actual just 5/8 socket, you'll see here in a second, there's a little piece of sort of rubber or foam or something that keeps the actual spark plug on the tool. So when we're removing it, it actually stays on there, and we can just take it off from the actual tool itself instead of having to reach all the way down there and grab it while it's loose. So just like that, we've got our spark plug right there on our spark plug removal tool. And what I would suggest to get this off is some gloves, but we're just going to take it out just like that. It is very hot. And we'll move on to the next one. And for this next one, I'm going to remove the bendy part, just because we really need that, just for the hard to reach ones over there. The rest ones will be easier fuel if we just use the regular extender bit. And you can use the spark plug removal tool to put the new set of spark plugs in as well. And you'll know you're done spinning because you can just pull on it and it'll come out. But until that point, you still got some spinning to do. Right now, you can pull on it, and it's right there. Take it out again, just put it off to that side. And rinse and repeat, like you have been doing. Alright. This comes right out. Now again, I would highly recommend doing this once you've loosened it, just with a drill, just to save some time if you can. There it is. All right.
So that's that side done. We'll go ahead and move on to the other side. All right, so same sort of thing on this side. Going back to the angle tool right here. This side is going to be the hardest one to reach. Kind of go in down there as smoothly as possible. Try to work your way in there. And down on that. We'll let that go down properly. There we go. Alright, now we can fill it on there. Put a socket back in. Alright, so as you can see, I did have to remove the actual socket wrench from the socket in order to fit it at the right angle, but just kind of do what you gotta do right there until you feel that it's actually untwisting the spark plug. And we'll go ahead and just get it out. Like I said, this last cylinder back here is the most difficult angle to get at, especially because the extender that I have is just slightly too long to make it easy. But make do with what you got. Twist that down. That coming out. Yep, got it. All right. Perfect. Yep, that one's still hot. Fantastic. So now that we've done the hard ones, I'm just gonna remove this little bendy bit right there, the corner attachment, the angle attachment, okay? And just continue what we've been doing for the last 5 cylinders. Number 6. Oh. There it goes. There we go. And I know it doesn't seem like it, but you do want to be gentle with the spark plugs, as most of them are made out of ceramic for the most part, and they can crack. So you want to be careful, especially when actually lifting it out of the cylinder. And last but not least, move that out the way. And you can see where the actual spark plug is when we're doing it down in that hole right there, and just putting that in, kind of the spark plug tool. There it goes, and it should like sink down. That's how you know you kind of snapped onto it. And then it'll be really tensioned, and you just kind of snap the bolt. And then, there you go. All right, got the last one out. Now we can start basically doing the opposite of what we just did and just start installing new ones. So as you can see, this is the old one that we took out, the old stock one. This is the new one. If you probably can't really see it on video, but if you look really closely, there are very slight differences on the sizes and spaces of things right there at the very tip. But these are the full performance ones right here. Brand new and shiny. Looks real good. It's gonna be a nice hopefully we'll feel a difference on like throttle response and certain things. Yeah, time to put these in the car. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install some new spark plugs into your Gen 2 Coyote Mustang. It's going to be a very simple job. Just taking some of these spark plugs, putting them in. Not too difficult. Going to be about 30 minutes to an hour job. Yeah, let's get started. So now what we're going to do is we're going to be taking our new spark plugs, doing the opposite of what we just did, put them back in instead of taking them out. So what we're going to do is come look right over here. We're going to just put this basically in there very carefully, and you can just feel it kind of click in there. That means it's not going to fall out. And then we'll probably going to want to remove your actual wrench right there with your extender, whatever fits for you, and just kind of gently put that down into the cylinder well there, and just kind of feel your way in there, say, until it starts to twist itself. And then you can even just hand twist it without using the socket wrench until you want to tighten it, if that's easier for you. I'm finding it easier for me. Move my little cord out here. Tighten it. Just hand tighten it is good enough. Perfect. So then move that again, just because it's in the way. Just kind of undo it right there, and you'll see no spark plug there. Should mean it's tight enough in there. And we'll move on to the next one. So I'm just gonna take a little corner angle piece off there, put another spark plug in here. Again, very carefully, right there. As you can see, it's not falling out. So if you are using just the 5/8 tool, I would highly recommend just getting the spark plug tool remover. It does make your life a lot easier, instead of having to just kind of throw it down there and hope when you're installing these. You can know that it's attached and have peace of mind with that. Again, if you have a drill, I wouldn't use an impact on this, as that would probably be way too powerful. But if you have just like a hand drill it so it's down there, and then hand tighten it with the socket wrench. Alright, again, just putting the spark plug in the spark tool remover, kind of getting it down there, and then just twist it with the extender piece. That seems to be doing a little bit faster than the actual socket wrench. Alright, once I feel it's kind of stiff, I'm just going to hand tighten it right there. Perfect. Alright. And last one for this side. Nice one. Directly down into the actual hole. So as you can see down there, you can see our new spark plug. That's how it should look. Again, just hand tighten these. Perfect. All right, that's that side done. We'll get to the other side. So again, we are going to be starting on the far side, all the way towards the cabin. So it is going to be a little bit difficult to reach. So we're going to be using the angle piece on our socket set right here. And just like we've been doing, kind of all the way down there, and just start twisting and tightening. You'll be able to hear it squeaking. That usually is a good sign of it's actually where it's supposed to be at. Perfect. Once you can't hand tighten anymore, just use the good old socket wrench. So make sure it fits in. All right. So we're just gonna be removing that angle piece just because we don't need it anymore. Get another spark plug. Put it in the wrong way. There's still no way. Again, you could be using a socket wrench for this. I'm just tightening because I'm finding it a little bit quicker. Now this is the same sort of process for most vehicles. It's just about finding where your spark coils are and how to get to them. For the 2.3 EcoBoost, I did the spark plugs on that one as well. It is easier on that, just to get to them, and there is less of them, less spark plugs to do, because it is just a 4-cylinder, and they're all just kind of lined up on the top. It's about removing that cover. Real simple job, basic tools, not that hard. Shouldn't take you very long, probably 30 minutes to an hour, just depending on tools and temperatures and certain aspects like that, and experience. Perfect. And the last spark plug. Right in. Now if you'd like to, you can just go around again with the wrench and just kind of make sure they're all tightened. I'm not going to do that because I'm fairly confident in my tightening skills. But it's always okay to be on the safe side. All right. So now that all the spark plugs are in, we're going to be putting the spark coils back in. And we're just basically going backwards from what we were doing originally. All right, so I've got all of our spark coils lined up. Now, if this is another modification that you can do at this time, I'm just putting the stock ones back in. These do add, if you do upgrade these, it will add a little bit more throttle response, I've heard. Good things about upgrading these, but today we're just going to be putting back the normal ones. But yeah, so we're just going to be putting these back in the little holes where they go with the new spark coils, or spark plugs in. Just going to kind of put them down there. They should suction right up, and you can just kind of plug them back in as well. And just kind of putting this right down there. This one is always kind of awkward to just do anything with. There it goes. Perfect. And this one right here. Now what you want to do, you just plug these back in. Back in and clip them. Make sure they're all clipped. You'll hear 2 clicks. 1 click means that the plug is actually back in, and then it's secured with that little white clip right there. And then we're just going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll get to bolting them back in. Again, real simple install. Something you can do, like I said, probably 30 minutes to an hour. fun little, you could do it if you want. It's a fun little thing that you could do with your kids. If you want to get them interested in vehicles and modifying and stuff. It's real basic and hard to mess up. So those are all clipped in right there. And then we're just going to take all of our bolts and just bolt them back in, all right? We're going back to the 1/4" socket with the 5/16 bit. And we're just going to be taking the old bolts, putting them right back where they came from, and that'll be the core packs tightly back in place where they were. So you do just kind of want to finger tighten it until you can actually like use the socket. Again, feel free to use a drill for this. Make it a little bit faster. You absolutely do not have to. Perfect. Doesn't have to be too tight, just so it's secure. Perfect. The hard to reach one back here. Another not bad idea would be to use just some disposable rubber gloves, just so you don't have your hands looking like mine all day after washing them for like 3 times. Alright, that one's secure. So what we can do now is we can take this little plastic powered by Ford covering and put it right back on where it was. It should just click right back into place, and that's secure right there. Now back onto the other side. I'm gonna take our bolts and just kind of put them back in there. Again, just making sure everything is secure. Let's drop that one. And not do that. I'm just finger tightening all these right now, and then I'll get them secured with the socket wrench in just a second. So that's all tightened down there. Then we're just gonna be putting this little plastic covering thing back where it went. Again, just gonna kind of maneuver it back down there underneath these lines right here. Alright, perfect. And then just kind of snap there into place. Alright, and so now the only thing left to do is put back the strut tower, and we'll be all reassembled. Oh, and the battery. We'll put the battery back in and plug that back in and put the strut tower back in. So we're just gonna be putting back the strut tower. So just gonna find these two bolts right here and those ones right there. I'm just gonna be simply placing it right back on. Hover over there. It should just go into place. And then we're gonna take our 3 bolts. I have 3. You would normally have 4 if you do have this. I had 4, but one of them stripped because I used an impact to take it off one time, and it didn't like it. So we have 3. Anyways, we're gonna be taking our 15mm socket and just kind of tighten them. Perfect, and the last one on the other side. Again, it would help if you have the sort of the longer socket for the 15mm, just because the standard shorter length ones are not long enough to get this bolt all the way down there out of the start. All right. Now, took the battery cover all the way back off, and I'm not sure if everybody has this, but I have this little brown thing here that goes kind of right onto that bolt that we just plugged that in. And then we're going to be simply putting our battery back there. You can hear everything just kind of go back into place, and then we're going to be tightening that up with our 10mm. And take 10mm and so just tighten that all the way back down. Perfect, and then you just want to put this right back on there, and that's just to make sure it doesn't move around too much in transit. Don't worry about this wire. This is aftermarket parts that I have personally. I will be just replacing that after this video. Put the cover back on.
So if you are looking for a colder plug on your boosted GT, then be sure to check out this set from Ford Performance right here at AmericanMuscle.com.